The world splits into two kinds of people: those who enter a room and command it, and those who fade into the background. You've felt that divide. You walk into places where influence is traded, where futures change with a handshake, yet somehow you disappear. You watch others, often less skilled, attract mentors, investors, and allies as if luck follows them. Meanwhile, you stand on the edge, holding your hard work and good intentions, wondering why none of it matters. You were told merit speaks for itself. You were told to just be yourself. Beautiful lies designed to keep you quiet. Here's the truth. Power doesn't respond to talent. It responds to perception. The powerful don't look for good people. They look for useful ones, people who bring leverage, not loyalty. If you want to enter the rooms where real decisions are made, you must stop waiting for recognition and start learning the language of influence. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. The prince wasn't a guide for cruelty, it was a manual for clarity. He saw that humans are driven by fear, pride, and desire. The powerful simply acknowledge these drives instead of denying them. Ignore this truth and you'll remain a piece on someone else's board. Master it and you become the player. In the next few moments, we'll break the illusions around networking and uncover Machiavelli's 13 laws of power, not as tips, but as weapons. Tools forged in 500 years of political survival. Once you learn them, you won't see powerful people as superior, only as systems of needs and fears waiting to be understood. You'll know how to make yourself indispensable to that system. But understand this, once you see how power truly moves, you can't unsee it. Every interaction will reveal its strategy. Every smile will show its motive, and you'll never again believe the world runs on fairness. Most fail to connect with power because they approach it asking for something. They confuse honesty with vulnerability, thinking sincerity will earn them access. It won't. Authenticity is a privilege reserved for those who already have power. The rest of us must adapt. Influence isn't about pretending, it's about becoming what the moment demands until you're too valuable to ignore. That's not manipulation, it's survival. But how do you influence without losing yourself? How do you play the game without becoming the pawn? The answer is the void principle. Every powerful person has a void, a fear or hunger they can't satisfy alone. Your mission is to see it and fill it, not by begging for validation, but by offering something no one else can. That is the core of real influence. Not charm, not genius, relevance. Before we explore the void, you must first understand the 13 laws that govern access to power. Learn them and you'll stop chasing power. You'll start attracting it. Let's begin. Law 1. Never outshine the master. Your first instinct when meeting someone powerful is the one that destroys you. You want to impress them to prove you belong. You talk too much, show too much, shine too bright. You think brilliance earns respect. It doesn't. It breeds resentment. Here's the paradox. The higher someone rises, the more fragile their ego becomes. Their entire identity depends on being the smartest, most capable person in the room. Their power rests on perception, and you, with your confidence and competence, threaten that image. When you outshine them, even unintentionally, you don't look like an ally, you look like a rival, and power always protects itself. They won't attack you directly, that would be too obvious. They'll simply stop including you. Invitations disappear, your ideas get ignored, Your name fades from the conversation. You'll never know why, but your mistake was simple. You made them feel replaceable. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. It is dangerous to appear better than your superiors. People don't protect what makes them insecure. They destroy it. So, what's the strategy? Dim your light, not out of fear, but precision. Make them feel brilliant. When you share an idea, frame it as an extension of theirs. Your point about timing made me think, what if we applied that to this situation? See the trick? You planted the idea, but they feel like the genius. Ask questions you already know the answers to. Let them explain. Let them feel like a mentor, a visionary. Feed their vanity without shame, because vanity is the currency of power. This isn't weakness, it's positioning. When you make powerful people feel safe, they lower their defenses. That's when real access begins. While they bask in their own brilliance, you observe, studying their habits, mapping their allies, learning their structure. You turn their comfort into your education. Let them collect applause, you collect leverage. Because the goal isn't to shine in front of power, it's to stand beside it long enough to understand how it moves. Never outshine the master. Let them feel untouchable until you've learned enough to become one yourself. Law 2. Conceal your intentions. A predictable person is a controlled person. The moment I understand what you want, I know exactly how to manipulate you. If you want money, I dangle financial opportunities. If you want recognition, I offer you titles and public praise. If you want belonging, I make you feel special. Most people broadcast their desires with every word and gesture. They approach powerful people with their needs written across their faces. I need funding. I need a mentor. I need an introduction. This desperation is repulsive to power. To connect with influential people, you must become psychologically opaque. Machiavelli advised princes to be great simulators and dissimulators. You must hide your true agenda behind layers of misdirection. When you enter a powerful person's orbit, do not discuss business immediately. Talk about philosophy. Discuss art. Ask about their hobbies, their travels, their views on industry trends. Anything that creates human connection without revealing your ultimate objective. Make them wonder why you are there. Mystery generates attraction in the human mind. When someone cannot immediately categorize your motives, their brain becomes engaged. They start projecting their own assumptions onto you. They begin to chase the puzzle of your presence. This inverts the power dynamic entirely. You are no longer the one seeking. They are now the one curious. Never reveal your endgame until you have secured the position you need. Be warm, be present, be genuinely interested in them, but keep your deepest ambitions locked in a vault that no one can access. The less they know about what you truly want, the more leverage you possess in every interaction. Predictability is death. Mystery is power. Law 3. Appeal to self-interest, never to mercy. This is where good people ruin their chances. You need help, so you tell your story, the struggle, the sacrifice, the hard work. You hope someone powerful will feel sympathy and open a door. They won't. They'll listen, nod, and move on. Powerful people hear pleas every day. Everyone wants something: funding, advice, connection. If they gave to every deserving person, they'd have nothing left for their own goals. Mercy is rare, need is endless. Machiavelli said it's better to be feared than loved if you can't be both. In influence, it's better to be needed than liked. Don't ask for favors, offer solutions. Study their world before approaching them. What keeps them awake at night? What threats or gaps exist in their empire? Find their problem, then position yourself as the answer. When you speak, remove I from your vocabulary. Frame everything around their interests. I noticed your expansion in Europe faces regulatory challenges. I've worked with those frameworks. Would you like a quick breakdown of common pitfalls? That shift changes everything. You're no longer a beggar asking for a chance. You're a strategist offering value. Self-interest is the true language of power. Speak it fluently, and the doors that once ignored you will open on their own. Law 4. The art of strategic absence. Modern culture worships constant availability. You reply instantly, accept every request, and stay endlessly accessible, believing it proves reliability. In truth, it signals that your time has no value. The same rule that governs economics governs attention. Scarcity creates worth. Abundance breeds indifference. If you're always available, you become ordinary, and ordinary things are ignored. Powerful people understand that time is their most limited resource. They can buy almost anything except more hours. When you give yours too freely, you communicate that it's cheap. As Machiavelli noted, a ruler seen too often loses mystique. The remedy is strategic withdrawal. When you're present, be fully present, focused, insightful, valuable. Then step back. Don't answer every call or agree to every meeting. Let your schedule reflect purpose, not desperation. Show that your time is claimed by meaningful work and selective priorities. This achieves two effects. First, it proves you have your own gravity, your own mission, options, and demands. Second, it builds tension. Humans are drawn to what they can't easily access. Your absence stirs curiosity. Where are they? What are they building? Who else are they with? When you return, your presence feels earned, not expected. That contrast multiplies your impact. Use scarcity intentionally. Speak less often, appear less frequently, and make each appearance unforgettable. Your absence will make you far more powerful than your constant presence ever could. Law 5. The mirror of Narcissus. Every person, no matter how powerful or humble, is secretly in love with their own reflection, their worldview, their story, their identity. They crave to be understood and validated. Most people try to connect by talking about themselves, but to someone powerful, that's just noise. True connection begins when you stop broadcasting and start reflecting. Become their mirror by not imitation, but by alignment. Observe how they speak and move. If their energy is sharp and fast, match their rhythm. If they're calm and deliberate, slow down. Subtly mirror their tone, posture, and language. Speak in their metaphors, strategy to the strategist, art to the artist, sport to the competitor. This isn't manipulation, it's psychological synchronization. Mirroring activates a deep instinct of familiarity, the mind's way of saying, "This person is like me, therefore I can trust them." Their guard drops, their ego relaxes, they feel seen. Powerful people don't seek to be challenged at first, they seek to be confirmed. Let them see their best self reflected in you. When they look at you, they should feel understood, effortlessly, instinctively. That feeling is addictive. In a world full of competition, the one who mirrors becomes magnetic. Make them feel understood, and they'll never forget you. Law 6. Become the gatekeeper of information. In past eras, land was power, then capital was power. Today, information is power, especially the kind no one else has. The one who sees what others can't becomes indispensable. Even the most powerful are often blind. Surrounded by filtered updates and cautious subordinates, they rarely hear unvarnished truth. What they crave is clarity, intelligence that cuts through illusion. Your value lies in becoming that source. Bring insights others fear to share. Expose quiet risks, unseen shifts, emerging threats. But do it strategically, not as gossip, but as protection. You are not talking, you are informing. You are their unseen advantage. When you deliver exclusive intelligence consistently, you stop being an assistant, a vendor, or a peer. You become a confidant, the one they trust when no one else will. Few bonds are stronger than the bond between those who share secrets. But remember, control the flow. Reveal the insight, never the source. Maintain mystery around how you know what you know. If they can access that information without you, your leverage vanishes. Knowledge gives influence, but selective knowledge gives power. Be the one who knows and the one they can't replace. Law 7. The Law of the Useful Enemy. Nothing bonds two people more rapidly than shared hatred. Social psychology calls this in-group, out-group dynamics. We instinctively feel connection to people who despise the same things we despise. If you want to accelerate trust with a powerful person, identify what they hate. Do they hate bureaucracy? Do they hate mediocrity? Do they hate a specific competitor, a regulatory body, a philosophy that dominates their industry? Align yourself with their hatred. Validate their enemy as worthy of contempt. It is shocking how lazy this industry has become. What you said about the decline in standards was absolutely correct. When you validate their enemies, you validate their struggle. You position them as the hero fighting against stupidity or corruption or decline. You are saying, I see the dragon you are slaying, and I want to hand you the sword. This creates a powerful us against them psychology. Suddenly, it is not just a business relationship, it is a shared mission against a common threat. Be careful not to be purely negative. The contempt must be framed as righteous, as the frustration of someone who sees clearly in a world of blindness. We are the few people left who still care about excellence. This creates an almost cult-like microculture between you. In the trenches of that imaginary war, deep loyalty forms. You are not just a connection, you are a fellow warrior. Law 8. Play to their fantasy. Machiavelli understood something profound about human nature. People do not live in reality. They live in fantasy versions of reality, where they are the hero of their own story. The brutal CEO secretly fantasizes that he is a beloved father figure. The reckless entrepreneur fantasizes that she is actually a disciplined strategist. The insecure politician fantasizes that he is a wise statesman admired by history. Your job is to identify their fantasy self and play a supporting role in that narrative. If they want to be the wise mentor, you become the eager protege who asks profound questions. Let them teach. Let them feel intellectually generous. If they want to be the bold rebel, you become the loyal accomplice who validates their rebellion against the system. If they want to be seen as the visionary king, you become the trusted advisor who sees their greatness. Do not force them to confront the gap between their fantasy and their reality. Reality is painful. They have constructed their entire life to avoid that pain. If you are the one person who consistently reinforces their ideal self-image, who never punctures their narrative, they will protect you ferociously. Because if you leave, the fantasy becomes unstable. You are the mirror that shows them who they want to be. Remove that mirror, and they must face who they actually are. This is manipulative, but we are not discussing authentic friendship. We are discussing access to power. And power lives in a theater where everyone plays a role. Learn your role. Play it perfectly. Law 9. Mastery of emotional alchemy. Powerful people live under constant, crushing pressure. They carry the weight of organizations, the expectations of investors, the anxiety of competition, the burden of decisions that affect thousands of lives. Their inner world is often chaos, masked by external composure. Most people add to that chaos. They bring problems, they bring urgent crises, they bring emotional volatility that demands attention. To become irreplaceable, you must be their emotional sanctuary. You must be the person who brings calm to their storm. When they are frantic, you are measured. When they are angry, you are rational. When everything around them is burning, you are the voice of clarity. Learn to absorb their emotional turbulence and transmute it into strategic composure. I understand the situation. Here are 3 paths forward. Option 2 minimizes risk. I will handle the implementation. Those words, I will handle it, are among the most powerful you can speak to someone drowning in responsibility. You are removing weight from their shoulders. Over time, they will begin to crave your presence, not because they need your skills, but because of how you make them feel. You make them feel in control. You make them feel capable. You make them feel safe. In a world of constant stress, become the person who lowers their cortisol. If you can do that consistently, you can name. Law 10. Assume formlessness. Machiavelli praised the fox for its ability to change shape. Bruce Lee taught that one must be like water, taking the shape of whatever container holds it. Rigidity breaks. Flexibility survives and eventually dominates. When connecting with power, you cannot afford a fixed identity. You must be infinitely adaptable. Some situations require aggression. Others require submission. Some contexts demand that you lead. Others require that you follow. Do not become attached to being one type of person. If you insist on always being yourself, on never compromising your personality, you will clash with people who operate differently, and you will lose access. Formlessness is the ultimate defense. If you have no fixed shape, you cannot be easily attacked. If you have no rigid identity, you can slip through any door, into any circle. Study the person you are trying to connect with. Adapt to their cultural norms completely. If their world is formal, you dress formally and speak in complete sentences. If their world is casual, you adopt their informality. If they drink bourbon, you drink bourbon. Eliminate all friction. Make it effortless for them to include you in their world. The perfect infiltrator is indistinguishable from a native. Blend completely so that when you do speak, when you do act with purpose, the impact is magnified because you are perceived as one of them. Law 11. Create dependence. This is the ultimate law of securing your position. Make yourself structurally necessary to their success. If you can be replaced by a simple hiring process, you have no real power. You must embed yourself so deeply into their operations that removing you would cause serious damage. Identify a function they hate but that is critical to their empire and master it completely. Take full ownership of a key client relationship they cannot afford to lose. Become the holder of institutional knowledge that exists in no document, no system, only in your memory. Control access to something they desperately need. If you become the bridge to something essential, they cannot cut you off without destroying their own access. Do not teach them everything you know. Keep certain knowledge proprietary. Keep certain relationships exclusive to you. The more dependent they become on you for their competitive advantage, for their peace of mind, for their continued success, the more power you accumulate. True power in relationships is not independence, it is mutual entanglement, strategic codependence. You want them to lie awake at night thinking, what would happen if he left? Once that fear is planted in their mind, you have won. You are no longer replaceable. You are no longer an employee or a vendor. You are an essential organ in their system, and no one willingly cuts out. Law 12. Control the options. The most powerful person in any negotiation is not the one making demands, it is the one who wrote the menu of choices. When presenting options to powerful people, never overwhelm them with infinite possibilities. That creates exhausting decision fatigue. Instead, curate exactly 3 options. We can pursue approach A, which carries these specific risks, or approach B, which offers these advantages, or approach C, which is the safest path but slowest. Frame these options so that the one you actually want them to choose appears obviously superior. This is the art of guided decision-making. You allow them to make the final choice, which preserves their sense of control and authority, but you have constructed the entire framework within which they are deciding. You are the architect of the decision. They are simply signing off. Machiavelli understood this. A wise prince relies on what is in his own control, not what is in the control of others. By controlling the structure of every conversation, you control the outcome without appearing controlling. Never ask open-ended questions that force them to think from scratch. What should we do about this? That is lazy and burdens them. Instead, say, I have analyzed this situation thoroughly. Here are the 3 viable paths. Based on our objectives, Path 2 offers the highest probability of success with acceptable risk. Do you want me to proceed? You have done all the cognitive labor. They simply authorize. You are the strategist. They are the approver. But the strategist is the one who actually shapes reality. Law 13. Radical autonomy. This is the final and most paradoxical law. To truly connect with power, you must not need it. If your worth depends on someone's approval, they will feel it. If your dreams hinge on their validation, they will own you. Neediness repels power, always. True power recognizes independence. It's drawn to those who can walk away. You must build your own foundation, your own mission, values, and vision separate from anyone's influence. Even if your empire is small, it must be yours. The one who can walk away from the table holds the leverage. When you sit across from wealth, fame, or status, know in your bones that you will be fine without them. You're not there to beg. You're there to see if a true exchange exists. That shift changes everything. Your voice steadies. Your gaze strengthens. You stop seeking approval and start evaluating alignment. Powerful people are surrounded by those who bend themselves to please. But when they meet someone unshakable, someone who respects them yet doesn't worship them, they take notice. Be that person. Be grounded. Be sovereign. Be complete. Autonomy attracts power. Dependence destroys it. Now take a moment and let all 13 laws sink in. Maybe this feels calculated, maybe even manipulative. You're right, it is. But look at the world around you. Do you truly think it runs on honesty and hard work, or on strategy, leverage, and human psychology? You have a choice. Stay innocent, waiting for fairness that never comes, or become the strategist, the one who sees the game for what it is and plays it with precision. Machiavelli wasn't cruel, he was clear-eyed. He studied how people actually behave and used that truth as power. To apply these laws isn't to deceive, it's to understand, to speak the hidden language that governs influence. Once you learn this, you stop being invisible, you stop waiting to be chosen. You become the person power recognizes because you finally operate at its level. That person can be you. These 13 laws are not chains that limit you. They are keys that unlock doors. But possessing keys is meaningless without the discipline to use them. This level of psychological sophistication is not a destination where you arrive and then relax. It is a practice you must refine daily. The world is designed to lull you back to sleep, to make you comfortable with mediocrity, to convince you that being a passive observer is safe. If you refuse that comfortable sleep, if you are genuinely committed to sharpening your understanding until it cuts through illusion, then make a decision in this moment. Do not just consume this information and forget it. Click the subscribe button, not to support a content creator, but to make a binding contract with yourself, to declare to your own unconscious mind that you are finished being a spectator. Welcome to the inner circle. Welcome to those who see clearly.